along our Advent journey, the Church has invited us to make a handful of out-of-the-way stops as we make our way to the stable, to the cave in Bethlehem. And this Sunday, we make our last stop in the hill country of Judea, having accompanied Mary to visit her cousin Elizabeth, two women with their two babies, overjoyed at the promises of Israel. In many ways, this journey has been designed for us to open our hearts, to recognize our hunger, to begin to long for what God is giving us. Mary already had spent her life longing for the Messiah. Elizabeth brought into that expectation and longing as the baby she could never have now grows in her womb. Both women conscious of the ways that God was at work in their lives, the ways that they and their boys would be part of God's plan of salvation. And we're invited just to sit for a minute in the joy and expectation and hope that filled that room as we make our final journey, this final Advent journey to the stable, as we find there Mary and Joseph and a baby, as we ourselves embrace the love and salvation that is being offered to us. We're given, in some ways, that most powerful image of waiting, of expectation, of longing, of actively being involved in a process that brings about a gift that is bigger than ourselves. We find today a woman who's in her 6th month and a woman who's in her first trimester of pregnancy, as they long and work and wait for the salvation that is promised to them. And maybe pregnancy is a beautiful metaphor for us in this life of grace and love and salvation. So much hope and possibility, so much preparation and work, so much that's out of our hands, so much that gives us reason to take pause and be afraid and question ourselves and question our circumstances. And finally, a gift that makes all of our preparations, all of our concerns, all of our hopes seem so small. And in our liturgical celebrations, we find ourselves now almost at the moment of birth. In our liturgical celebrations now, we find ourselves embracing this powerful love that has been given to us. In our lives, that might or might not be the moment that we find ourselves in. We do this every year, right? But across the course of our life, there are moments, seasons of Advent, seasons of Nativity. There are seasons of Lent and seasons of death and resurrection. All of this across the course of our lives, celebrated together in community, maybe out of order, but celebrated so that as we live our lives in Christ, when we find ourselves pregnant with hope, when we find ourselves in the company of those who understand what's happening in our lives, filled with joy for us and with us, that these liturgical celebrations will lead us also to be able to embrace more fully, more completely, the gift that we probably haven't even begun to imagine.